Good morning. This is a continuation in vertical form of yesterday's video, but today you can ask absolutely everything that you want. And yes, I am wearing my Afghan hat, which was given to me by Vsevolod from Moscow region. Why are there so many Ukrainian Well, the reason why there's a lot of Ukrainian propaganda is because that's the side they want to win. And the side that tries the hardest is the side that's always wrong, usually. So since the Ukrainian side is the wrong side, you're going to see a lot of compensation through propaganda. Robots maybe attack this live and other channels. So when you're in the wrong, you have to try harder. So I hope that makes sense, Alex. When you're in the wrong, you have to try harder. It's just how it works. Yeah, Russia is for sure being silenced, as Russia was never really good at the information war. Russia, outside of Russia, is very weak when it comes to information war. And it's weak not because it's not... it's weak not because it's not capable. It's weak because it's not actually trying, outside of Russia, of course. I don't think that Russia is trying to project outside of Russia. It has a lot of things going on inside. And to be honest, if Russia ever actually did try to do what the West does and do a lot of propaganda, then it would literally be falling into what the West draws Russia up to be, right? The biggest problem that I see, I lost a couple. I've lost a couple pounds. Hello, guys. The biggest problem that I've seen inside of Russia is that they try too hard to justify lies. When bad information goes through the West, justify it or fight against it. What's up, brother? I'm a Mexican American. I'm living in Sinaloa right now. I want to move to Russia. Well, if you actually are fluent in Russian and you're a Mexican American, you could probably be very successful here because you speak 2 languages fluently and 3 I've actually with Russian. So you would be one of the most sought after teachers or any type of work if you do professionally in Mexico or the United States, you could find easily here. We talked about this yesterday. The Russian military cannot beat the United States military if it attacks first. That's just how it works. America cannot defeat Russia, and Russia can't defeat the United States. Geographically, both countries are massive. If the United States puts boots on the ground, Ginger, it'd be the biggest mistake the United States ever did. It would be the end of the United States, because if Afghanistan was 20 years, Russia would be an infinite war, infinite in where you would never end that war. By the way, Soy Maki, join our Telegram. It's linked below, the Russian Experience, and I can help you there with a lot of information. Yeah. So Lori, I think you have no clue how militaries work. We talked about this last time. So America could beat Russia if it was fighting in paper, face to face, right? Without geography, without politics back in the United States, military for military, the United States has a stronger military, Lori. But just because you have a strong military doesn't mean you can occupy the largest country in the world. Lori, I fought in Afghanistan. Let's not talk about who's got the strongest military. Having the strongest military, the United States lost against Afghanistan with the weakest economy in the world at the time, okay? So, Lori, perhaps you need to understand the difference between strength on paper and strength with boots on the ground. I'm not trying to talk badly to you. I'm just trying to educate you that, of course, the United States does have a stronger military, has a superior navy, and it has a superior air force. But not by much on the air force, but the navy is very strong. But the majority of Russia is inland. The navy is not going to do anything inside Novosibirsk region in past the Urals, okay? I just want you to understand that. And hopefully you learned something new today, Lori. The first steps you need to come to Russia is get a Russian visa on your American passport, okay? You need a Russian visa under your American passport. Then you can come visit me as a tourist and I can show you and I can teach you some things. You come and then you can decide if it's a place for you to live or not. But you need to come here as a tourist first, okay? Just letting you know. Get about 2 weeks and a half. On your American passport, you can live up to 6 months in Russia without having to leave. And when you leave for about a day and then you come back. So that's how it works. By the way, guys, please do consider putting like. I'm an American living in Russia. I've lived here for almost 4 years, and I'm also a Marine Corps veteran of the Afghanistan war. And all I do is just tell you the facts. Usually, people on other channels try to sugarcoat things, but it is what it is here. We just do it, and we don't fake it. Red potatoes, they're coming out. I wear briefs. And if I don't, well, the reason I wear briefs is because I go swimming. Does it cost to have a baby born in Russia? Well, I'm going to find out in about 2 to 3 weeks. My son is going to be born. I'm going to have my first born here in Russia in about 2 to 3 weeks. My wife is 9 months and 1 week pregnant. I'm about 7 minutes from here where where I am right now. I'm about 7 minutes from Lake Baikal. Hola ma. Good morning guys. Thank you. My hat is awesome. It's an Afghanistan campaign hat for the Soviet army. It's really appropriate because I used something similar in the Afghanistan war myself. World War III is not coming anytime soon. Well, one thing that I've been thinking, right now it is 10 in the morning. If you're thinking about World War III, this is one symbol that it's getting closer. The day that Belarus joins the fight is the day that World War III is actually gonna start. Don't listen to any of the other military channels that don't know what the hell they're talking about. Doesn't matter how many countries send weapons to NATO to arm Ukraine. It has nothing to do with World War III. World War III will actually begin when Belarus enters the war. Why? Because this means that Russia needs help on all fronts, and that will make it to where the rest of NATO will actually join, and that will be World War III. Active World War III, because we're already in inactive World War III. Obviously, we're in inactive World War III, but Belarus joining, that means, okay, now it's active. A kid should stay. I think they keep them for about 3 to 4 days inside of the hospital, Vaughn. Yeah, all the U.S. generals being called, this is pathetic. They're armchair generals right now. Why did I go fight in Afghanistan? Well, I went to go fight because I got tired of hearing stories from people who actually were never there. A lot of Americans like to say why we're in different wars. Well, I was in Afghanistan and I know exactly why I was there. I saw combat, I did what I had to do, and I know exactly why I fought in Afghanistan. Yeah, thank you. This is Soviet hat. Afghan campaign for the Soviet Union. In Irkutsk Oblast, you can see the northern lights, 100% for sure. Здравствуйте. My father-in-law is here. 1 second. I have to go say hi. Buenos días. Это красный и большое. Смотри.
Ой,
Да. Красный и маленько бело.
вот это.
Это большое, да? Работа.
Я тоже работать.
Хорошо. I'm getting really nervous, guys. Since it's my firstborn, and the truth is, you can never. I could have never guessed that my first child ever was gonna be born in Russia. I'm telling you guys, this was never planned. I never planned to have a child in Russia. I never even planned to move here. From age 0 to 32, I didn't have any love for Russia. Holy shit, Ginger. I love you. Thank you. Ginger, I'm waiting for you to come. Hey, Ginger, when you come over here, we'll take care of you. You know this. And I'm pretty sure he'll love cooking for you. The man is absolutely a true Russian man, guys. If you don't know, Ginger's referring to my father-in-law. Hey, I'll show you what he's looking like right now. Watch. Check this out. He's always in his camouflage, guys. This is a true Siberian guy, by the way. This guy is always in his military military style clothing. Isn't that awesome? This is the real Russia. All the men out here are either in military clothing or camouflage. Even myself now, I'm here in my Gorka bottom, right? So we dress differently here. Are we old man watching? No. Yeah, thank you. The background here, I'll show you again, guys. This is what the autumn looks like behind my house. My father-in-law is deep into his 60s, a veteran himself, and he's offered to go, but obviously we would never allow him to do this. A lot of people ask about the caliber of soldier in Russia. You saw my father-in-law, he's into his 60s, again, a veteran himself, and any day that, I don't know how to explain this. It's gonna sound really bad, okay? This is gonna sound really bad. This man would be ready to fight in the conflict any day. It's the pride, it's the honor, it's just the mentality of the Russian man of his era, especially. And the men in Siberia are just built different. These guys, I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of videos from Siberian soldiers. They usually look a little bit different, and also they have Slavic Siberians who go and fight, and they're just on another level. So again, thank you so much, Ginger, for the donation. Guys, keep asking questions. I'm going to be working here for about an hour and a half. Oh, by the way, I also had to say that when somebody asks, do I speak Russian? Do I understand Russian? When I speak with my father-in-law, even though my Russian is limited, I can explain simple things. I can say simple things. And the truth is that I speak more than what I tell people that I know, right? I know more Russian than what I tell people because it's nobody's business how much Russian I can speak, because I want to be able to understand sometimes. And yeah, and not people know that I know. Never let them know your next move. And I'm just gonna have to hide that guy because this channel is a uh, pro, no, it's an anti-naughty party. If you have a freaking Nazi symbol as your photo, you're in the wrong. That man, my father-in-law's family, fought in the Great Patriotic War, so we don't support that. Denchik, красавчик. Нет, ты красавчик. Hey, buenas, primo. Saludos desde Rusia. So yeah, guys, we don't support that Nazi crap. Привет из Сибири. Я живу в Иркутске. Вы так пьядом. Здравствуйте. Я из Слюданка. Да. No, я из... No, я живу в Слюдянке. Да, я живу в Слюдянке. Hi, Dan. Oh, yeah, I understood. Sorry, but keep asking questions. Are you putting steroids in your crops? No, they just grow naturally. All right. You guys can continue to ask questions. I would really appreciate also if you guys consider putting like. Again, this is not a hate channel. Yes, I'm an American living in Russia, but I don't hate Ukrainians. We have Ukrainian neighbors here. Russia respects all people, and Ukrainians are welcome inside of Russia. I think that's a huge misconception some people have in the West, is that just because Russia's at war with Ukraine, Ukrainians maybe are hated inside of Russia. This is not true. No fertilizer. This is all natural. This is all natural. And that's just how it is, guys. This is not a hateful channel. Hey, you're harvesting your mangoes. Fernie, nice to see you. Yes, I know many Ukrainians who came before the conflict and during the conflict. The Russians welcome the Ukrainians very well. They see them like brothers and sisters. I myself, although I have a channel inside of Russia, it doesn't mean that I hate the Ukrainians. It doesn't mean that I hate my countrymen as well, because a lot of people want me to hate Americans. Why would I hate my brothers and sisters? Literally, my brothers and sisters, right? So this is not this is not that kind of channel. No, well, I consider alcohol and cigarettes a drug, so I see that. Obviously, some drugs are more dangerous than others, but I've never seen any drugs like other types. I am gonna be building a home here. We just recently bought an apartment, and we bought it because my son is gonna be born in a matter of weeks. It's actually very simple to obtain the Russian visa if you have an American passport. And yes, like Ginger said, I don't think there is one channel from Ukrainian people or people living in Ukraine that don't hate Russia. That's the great difference, right? That's where you see the what is it called? The blatant double standards. It doesn't exist. If you have a Mexican passport, you can come to Russia basically free. Why? Because Mexico has an agreement with Russia that you can get a online visa, an electronic visa, and you can come. Spasiba, drug. Now, if you're wondering again why my potatoes look so good, you see, this was the potato that I used to plant the actual plant, and it's producing potatoes. Angelina says, I first watched when your sister visited Russia a while back. I enjoy the way you speak, and thank you for sharing your perspective. And I am doing my daughter's hair in Austin, Texas. Thank you, Angelina. Oh, wow. Thank you for the support. Well, shout out to you out there in Austin, Texas. Texas is actually one of the few states I've never visited. No, I've never visited. When I was in the Marine Corps, I visited the states of many of my fellow Marines, and there was maybe 2 or 3 guys from Texas, but they were from such different parts of Texas that I never went. I never went because they tried to say their part was better, and I was like, okay, if we decide where we're gonna go in Texas, then we can go. And they never decided which part we were going to. So Texans are super proud of whatever region they're from. It's crazy. My sister finally got her hearing back in the United States. And yes, Texas is yeah, Texas is like living in a state where it's 4 to 5 states all in one. I can definitely see that because I'm telling you, the Texans that I knew, they were talking about Texas so differently that I swear they were talking about different places. Again, these are the potatoes that we're growing here. I can definitely help you out. Join the Russian experience. If you need any more information, it's much easier for me to talk to you on the Telegram. Hey, Black Hat, my brother. Everything is going good, and I can't wait to share with you guys when my son is born. Again, 2 to 3 weeks. I'm almost done with the potatoes. I appreciate the love. By the way, my wife right now is sleeping. As any one of you anybody who's watching who's a woman who's had children, they can understand. Uh, Ksenia being 9 months pregnant, she has no need to be waking up right now. Right now it's 10. She's gonna be chilling. Just join the Russian experience. Look on this video's description. All you have to do is click. Okay, just click the Russian experience and it'll take you to my Telegram. That's how you can get connected with me. Нет. 10. Some people think it's interesting that I can speak with my father-in-law, but him and I, we've been together for so long. Have you crossed Baikal by boat? No, I haven't. Hey, thanks everybody who's still watching. I know it's a little bit boring if I'm just working, so I'm trying to answer some questions. I would like to answer questions from people who are curious about different things about Russia. Anything, like he just asked if I crossed Baikal by boat. No, I haven't. Thank you so much for asking. In the future, when I buy my own boat, hopefully I can cross it across at this. You need an apron with potato pockets. You know what? When my son is old enough, I'll make him the potato pocket. I'll make him carry the potatoes. Cars where you're at? No, I've never seen still a true American car where I live. I live so deep into Russia, far away from everything, and so close to Japan that everything I see is Asian or Russian. Only two types of cars here, Asian and Russian. Well, Asian meaning like Japan and China, right? Because also I live in Asia, but you understand. Thank you, Black Cat. Thank you so much. Do you hear the war? Well, we were hit by a drone not too long ago, about 50 miles from here. Interestingly enough, the war has reached Siberia, where I live. A lot of people in the beginning of this channel said, you're so far from it. And I agreed. I was like, yeah, there's no way we would ever be bothered here. But 50 miles from here, they actually hit Irkutsk Oblast. I have been looking into how to import my Mustang. Hello from Texas, United States. Another Texan. I love you guys. I'm very far from Khabarovsk. Khabarovsk is many thousands of miles away, I think. No, I don't want a motorbike. I'm telling you guys, hello from New Jersey. Hello. We know how healthy our ground is because of how healthy these earthworms are. A lot of people in this town do not have earthworms on their land. And I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I'm probably able to open up a fishing store just because of how much earthworms I have. I can sell bait all day. This is a small one, of course, but I'm just trying to give you an example of the amount of earthworms that we have here. A lot of people who know our plot, they come asking for earthworms. That's a fun fact. I've had neighbors ask me for earthworms. They want to dig up in the backyard and take some bait. I'll give him a freaking hole there. Millie's life. Thank you. I love seeing people that are veterans of these lives. I notice many of your guys' names and I know them by heart. And I see you guys on the comments section. It's so awesome to be able to make these lives and talk straight with you guys. Yeah, no, Ginger, this was a freaking stable for cows, a corral for cows for 30 plus years, maybe 20 for sure. In my earlier videos, I showed this used to be where cows were held for the guy who owned it. For 30 years, they never cleaned the shit. Yeah. I love you guys. I love you, Texans. Again, it's unfortunate that I never got to visit Texas. Maybe if I ever go back to America, I would love to visit Texas. A lot of my support for the channel comes from people from Texas. But this was a stable or a corral for cows, and it was never picked up. When I got here, there was literally a foot or two of manure on the floor stacked up on each other. And this is the truth. If you go look back in my old videos, you'll see there were still cows living here, which is hilarious. Because we didn't tend to the land too often this year, you can see the grass is holding on to that top layer. I'm almost done. I'm a French Canadian guy. Cool. French Canadian, eh? If Mel ever opens up, I'm going to be sending a lot of things out too, guys. Don't worry, a lot of things that exist here that people want in the future, if Mel ever opens up, I'll be sending you guys a lot of stuff. Here's something that you guys can see that you've probably never seen if you've never planted potatoes. The potato doesn't always turn into a shell. You can see this is the one that we planted to make the plant. And it's gooey inside. It's decomposing because that's the first food that the plant has. When you put it in the ground, it'll give its life to produce the plant, and then water will take over and nutrients will take over once the roots are formed. What do I say is the best part of living in Russia? Okay, this is the forbidden mashed potatoes. This is a really good question. I can tell you for my region is that if I wanted to, I can take you guys to the largest lake in the world in about 7 minutes. That's the best part. Obviously, my son and my wife and my family, we're not talking about that because it would be my family. 100%. My family that I have in Irkutsk, my family that I have here. This is without saying, okay? But apart from family, we're gonna talk about Lake Baikal. It is such a beautiful place, and it's incredible that I get to live here. And that's the best part. Thank you so much for asking. So the Huffman guy who joined the military, he's still alive, they would never use him to fight as he has no combat experience and would probably get the Russian men hurt. Foreigners who join who don't speak fluent Russian or who have combat experience are gonna put Russian lives in danger. So the Huffman is probably somewhere safe, but it's for the benefit of the men who he's around. It's not good to join the military if you have no combat experience or speak the native language, but it's, I guess, commendable of him. Good on him. Coldest temperature I've ever felt, probably negative 45. Negative 45, and I'll tell you guys, if you ever visit me, because I've told many of my subscribers to visit, negative 45 on your face, it feels like somebody has a razor blade and they're just just cutting at it. If you've never felt negative 20, if you've never felt negative 20 degrees Celsius, of course, and you jump into negative 45, it's gonna shock you. The cold will shock you. Thanks for the questions. I love these questions. Hopefully the people who are just listening are enjoying the answers. How do you prepare for these temperatures? You have to buy the right clothing ahead of time and make sure that your apartment or your house has the appropriate heating materials. A lot of the Russian people understand we have to dress right. How do I heat my house? It's heated by water radiators. I'm gonna do a little bit and come hit like. We're almost at 100. Hey, thank you, Brown Hyena. Thank you, my friend. Are you keeping a couple of the big ones to replant? Yes. So these potatoes are capable of surviving the winter. Obviously, you keep them in a cold place. And then next spring, for sure, we're going to be planting some of these because the yield is not so bad and the size is really good. I'll show you some beautiful potatoes. The ones that we have to keep for replanting are these red ones, right? Krasny kartoshka. Look at this. You see that? These are beautiful, beautiful homegrown red potatoes. Now, the red ones grow a little faster than the white ones. And the The reason why we like doing both is because we love the tenderness of the young potato. Millie says, I planted potatoes and still have to wait a bit for the hot in Texas. Really? Thanks again, Brian Hyena. Brown Hyena, maybe ask a question. I would love to answer a question for you. Дорогой друг, Starasia? I don't know what that word is. Ah, на русский. Я не говорю по-русски. Я не русский. Я мексиканец. Я говорю по-испански, но я учу русский. Мой русский сложно. It's really hard. I don't think that Russians understand how hard Russian is. How long have you been learning Russian? Oh, I have never started learning Russian yet. And I do grow corn. I do grow corn. I've been eating corn this month. I've already harvested all of my corn. And I'm probably the only person in this entire town who grows corn. Believe it or not. Russians in this area do not really eat corn. But I'm leaving the stalks here so that it looks beautiful. It's a nice contrast. Random corn next to the taiga, right? I'm hungry. Okay, I'm hungry. I need to replenish my strength. I'm gonna eat these 2 carrots. I'm gonna eat these 2 carrots. The good thing about planting random veggies, eat from the ground. So I'm gonna eat these carrots. I've been working for about an hour now. And yeah. Let's eat these carrots. Straight from the ground. I have a question, if you don't mind. If you don't speak Russian, how do you communicate with people and police? Well, I know enough Russian to communicate. I don't speak Russian. Obviously, I don't speak it fluently. Какая красотка тебя. Картош красота. I don't know that word. Yes, this is 100% organic, watered from rainwater only. My favorite Russian meal is usually any soup my wife cooks. I like Russian soups, like borscht. Ah, spasiba, Bert. We own a sewing machine. Yes, we do. So yes, this is a Soviet hammer and sickle. I am not a communist. This is a symbol that is not really for communism now. This is a symbol for the Red Army, for the Soviet Union, the men and women who defeated Nazi Germans. This is the symbol that they fought under on the red flag. So this is not just communism, okay? This is a symbol for the people who saved the world in the Great Patriotic War. It's gonna be about 20 degrees today. So somewhere in the 70s. Mm. Is Russia staining skies with chemtrails? I don't know. I'll show you my sky. Hey Bert, can you translate what Yelena's saying? I'm saying everything that I think about Russia. This is my honest opinion. I don't have to be scared to say things. This country is not like going to haunt me for the things that I say. Also, I have to tell you that I am not a extremist. I don't say things that I don't mean, right? So a lot of people say things that are crazy. I wouldn't speak against the Russian government because I have nothing against the Russian government, right? Thank you so much. Yeah, the Soviet Union obviously was not Russia, and there's a lot of history. Oh, моя жена. Моя жена. How do I say my wife is at home? Моя жена is dom. Sleeping. We're done growing. Winter's coming in about a month, guys. Okay, let's get back to work. Is it easy to keep chickens anywhere? So we don't have raccoons here, and it's very easy because the bears and the wolves, they will not hunt the chickens. We usually have fox and small weasels who will hunt the chickens, but if I kill one or two, they will stay away. But raccoons are much smarter than these weasels. I love winter because in winter I go ice fishing. A lot of people have watched this channel since winter, and they enjoyed the winter activities. Let's finish this off. We have a little bit left. Thanks for all the support. Bye, Ginger. We love you so much. Be safe out there. How far are you from your other place? I'm about 3 minutes away. I'm about 3 minutes away from my apartment, 7 minutes away from Lake Baikal, 3 minutes away from my father-in-law's, 10 minutes away from the train station that can take me to Moscow. So usually people think that we're in the middle of nowhere, but I can take the train to Moscow from 10 minutes from here. We have double the size of an average plot here in Russia. Yeah, he's back there working himself. China wishes it had Lake Baikal because it's so much water. How many times did you go from to Moscow? I've been to Moscow 3 times. I don't quite like going to Moscow because I don't like flying. Ever since the war, I just don't trust airplanes. But I've been to Moscow 3 times. My sister went back by herself. She used Turkish Airlines. How was the Indian YouTuber Jerry? Oh, wow. You guys saw, you know Jerry? That guy was freaking awesome. So randomly just walking near Lake Baikal. I have to go look at his channel, but that guy is one of the coolest people I've ever met here because he's been just cycling across the freaking Russia. That's crazy. I've never been to China. I'm almost done, guys, and I'll answer your guys' questions. You can see there's my pile of potatoes. Thank you so much. We made it over 100 likes. I appreciate you guys. More potatoes. Yes, you're allowed to fish. Russia doesn't require you to have a fishing license. A lot of people always ask, hey, can I fish in Russia? What do I need? All you need is a fishing rod. You don't need a fishing license. Even as a foreigner, I fish legally. Would you help someone with family from the UK settle in your town? So I've not mentioned this publicly often, I guess, but I've helped a family buy an apartment here and have something here in Russia, okay? I can easily assist you because I've already done it myself for me, but I've also done it for someone else. And the truth is, it's much easier to come here to this region than Moscow or St. Petersburg, because here there's less stress, less competition, and less things that you have to worry about as far as waiting in lines. So the process is much easier. If you need help visiting Russia, if you need help visa-wise, if you need help information-wise, we do these lives. And you can also experience Telegram and talk to me directly. I'm probably the only YouTuber who has a forum style Telegram where you can ask any question about any topic, and we have experts in that Telegram. I'm almost done here, guys. Where in Russia I am? I'm in Irkutsk Oblast. I'm in the shores of Lake Baikal. I live next to the largest lake in the world. But only problem is my children, 10, 12, don't speak Russian. So kids have come much older here and assimilated. And the younger they are, especially the 10-year-old, he'll find learning Russian much easier than the 12-year-old for sure. If you want to come, maybe come as a tourist first and do a little bit of research. Once you're here, I can help you. I can drive you around, answer all of your questions. So I'm from Los Angeles, California. Yes, we have freshwater seals. So the truth is this. I'm gonna be the first one to tell you it's gonna be hard, of course, but it's the same as going to any other country, right? Every other country you have to assimilate. For you, if you have something already in the West and you end up buying something here, you're already about 50 years of other people who live in Russia. So yeah, I've been to Mongolia. I've lived in Mongolia for about 8 months. A fun fact about that, yeah. Just one more question. Does Russia have such bad corruption as people say? Just define what type of corruption first. There's all sorts of corruption. A lot of things can be corrupted, but let me know what part you're scared of, right? Like police, or I don't know. Police are definitely not corrupt. Just name something, brother. I've been stopped by police 3 times now. They never bothered me none. I've been driving. I didn't know I was driving illegally all this time, but I need to translate my license, and they didn't even take the car or issue me a citation. Cops are really nice, so just choose a topic. I've never heard about Russia being corrupt. Mostly that's just like the government, like President Putin, but I don't know President Putin. International driving license, it works as long as you have it translated to Russian. Andy, thank you so much for your kind words. So yeah, the truth is, corruption exists everywhere, but the corruption in Russia is not going to affect you on your daily life. Nobody cares about you, Andy, and I'm saying this in a positive way. Nobody cares about me either. That's what's beautiful. If I wasn't making these videos, nobody would even know that I exist, right? The Russians don't. It's a good thing. You don't want people knowing you. You don't want people caring about you. If you want, you can live your life and your core family will love you, and that's all you need. Russia is such a place. Why does everybody have a fence around their property? We have bears and wolves, Arian Adams. I don't know, but behind these mountains is the biggest rainforest in the world, or forest rather, sorry. So behind me is the largest forest in the entire planet, okay? And we have bears back there, and I've seen bears now, and they're freaking scary. There is no age limit to when you can drive. There is no age limit. I've seen diadushkas who are like 90, still driving their little Ladas. I've never been in the far east of Russia, but I'm pretty close. I'd have to say I'm a lot closer to the far east than some people think. I don't have bear spray, but if you go into the forest, you should carry a weapon. A long time ago, we took weapons and slept with weapons when I camped in the forest. So Здравствуйте. Okay, just had my neighbor say hello. So I'll tell you one thing, I would not take bear spray to go into the forest for bears. I would just take an AK-47. You're not allowed to own guns, obviously, if you're not a citizen, but that's the same for every other country I know. Hola Dan, ¿hay alguna forma de saber cuándo vas a hacer el directo? Siempre entro tarde. Hoy ponle las notificaciones, préndelas. YouTube obviamente no me va a hacer el paro para anunciar que estoy en vivo, pero no sé. Go ahead. Ask the question that you have. I don't have permits to own guns. No, of course not. I'm not a citizen yet. You need to be a citizen. Well, okay, what happened to my project of... Ich spreche English und Spanish. Okay, so I was gonna build a house there, but my son is gonna be born in 2 to 3 weeks. So there's no point of building a house that's gonna take months to build. So we decided to buy an apartment instead, Kvartira, here in the town. You can own a mace. I own a pike that was given to me by Survival Russia. Yes, I'm gonna go fishing in winter. Will you be live on YouTube when my son is born? Maybe. I haven't decided yet. Hello to you from Canada. Me and my Canadian husband also want to move to Russia. What advice can you give him? The best advice I can give you guys is come as tourists first. I'm a YouTuber who's offering foreigners to come visit me so I can show you how it is here in my area. Obviously, if you can survive where I am and you can enjoy it here, then you can move to St. Petersburg and Moscow, right? But I'm offering people to come visit as tourists, learn what it's like to live here, understand the troubles, because I will explain to you how you'll get your visas for residency, everything that you need to know. So my advice to him is come as a tourist, maybe go to Moscow. You don't need to come to me, obviously, but I'm offering you guys the knowledge that I've learned. How cold does it get in your area? Peak of winter, maybe negative 30 in the last year. It was like that. Expat American is, well, I'm not going to talk about him, but yeah. Everybody who knows me knows that I don't like him because he's a guy who disrespected my wife. I don't like such men who speak about women like he does. In fact, there's a lot of foreigners who live in Russia and they come to Russia only for females. Завтра тоже пойду на дачу. Нужно картошку. 5 sotok. I think he's saying that tomorrow he's going to go take out 5 sot of potatoes, maybe, if I understood correctly. If I have a translator here. Hello, Elizabeth. If you want to reach out to me, join my Telegram, The Russian Experience. It's linked down below. It's the easiest way to talk to me. Obviously, I make these lives, but answering individual questions, it's really hard because we have a chat to tend to and we have to do some work every once in a while. But join The Russian Experience. That's my Telegram. Yeah, I'm building the house right here. The house is going to be built right there. That's where the house is going to be built. Hopefully in the next 5 years, because That way I can rent out my apartment and live a little bit easier, maybe start a tourism company. You, yeah, my soulmate's sleeping right now. I love her so much. How different is America from Russia? Overall, they're not different at all. Bye, Elizabeth. Be safe. So, usually, Andy, the mushroom picking and the berry picking happens as a community. You know, a lot of us go together, and bears usually will stay away from large groups. So usually in Russia, at least here, we have a season for berries, we have a season for mushrooms, and you have hundreds of people spread out. Of course, they're not in the same place, but you're not going to be the only one in the forest. Now a bear does not like when there's multiple people, maybe a couple dozen, and they stay away. Hungry bears will attack humans, but that anything hungry will attack. That's right, master.
Do you stand Fave?
Фабе? Это Фабе? Я не знаю это.
How you wear?
А, моя жена из дом. Дом. Да. Откуда ты? Слюданка? Да. Квартира.
У меня есть и квартира, и дом.
А. Это красиво. Ты land?
Да.
The best. The best. Да. Моя...
Это горчица.
О, sorry. А что?
Это горчица называется.
Вот это?
Да.
Интересно.
I'm, как сказать, trim.
Trim. А,
Trim and machine.
да. Эй, хороший английский. Да.
At school and university. No,
На,
it's small.
no, it's good. Я не говорю по-русски, это...
Ну да.
But ты хороший English.
No, very small because I don't как сказать,
Study.
Да, story.
Да. А как study in Russian? Как? Что study? Учу?
Писать and write and
А.
read. Because not как сказать, Englishman.
Да, я понимаю. Нормально. Я работаю.
How you walk now? Sound very deep. My mission. Не помешает?
Что?
Я говорю о том, что твой блог, который ты сейчас ведешь,
Да, я блог. Видео.
да, видео.
Здравствуйте. Данил?
Алло? Okay, I have water. Здесь, я вода здесь. Смотри. I have water. Hello? Да, vlog. Okay, so sorry. So my neighbor was talking to me. It was really hard. Some words were hard to understand. But my father-in-law needs some water. I have water. Sorry, guys. My neighbor actually learned English in school and university. That's really cool. I've never used my English, let alone my Russian. But here. Huh?
Ну,
I have another bottle. Oh. Здесь?
отключил.
Ага.
Генератор
Да?
укрыл. Все?
Moment. Closed. Make sure to, has to cover the oil cap. Just in case, just in case. And that's it, yeah.
А это...
Это нормально, да. Нормально. Anywhere where there's oil, babe, it's good to cover a little bit, like the dipstick and the oil cap.
Да не, она крышка-то плотная.
That's
Не
good.
должно. Да, она не должно.
Нормально. He's gonna wash his engine.
А то, если я крышку закрою,
All right, guys, we've been going at it for almost an hour and a half. I'm about done with my potatoes. I want to say thank you guys for joining me. What are the cars in Russia? So the cars are usually Asian like this. In fact, this is my friend's car and it's right-hand drive, okay? All right-hand drive. So my father-in-law's car also right-hand drive. I'll show you. We drive on the right-hand drive, but on the left side of the street. It's an unusual thing, right? See you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I live in I live in Siberia, CJ. Thank you for joining. I live in Irkutsk Oblast.